What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't already checked out Scores and Odds, you're just making bad life choices. Just go on over there where we have free picks from our weatherman, Kevin Roth, Stevie TPFL, me, Daniel Chevelchen, Keith Eister, Meansy, all the greats over at RG. Plus, you get access to these nice little tools, which we will be adding a lot more in the future. We're working on it. I'm heavily involved in it, but a lot of stuff that I think is going to be great. Plus, this nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what RG Projections has for each of these pitchers and where the best line is. As you can see here, Cease, we have projected for 5.99 strikeouts. His line is sitting at 7.5. So where's the best line on the under? Oh, it's at FanDuel at minus 134. Boom, you can throw in your bet, saving you time, making you money. Go check it out, and you get access to Grant's Action Lounge, where I'm throwing in all these bets you see on the show into the Grant's Action Lounge. All you need is RG or SAO Premium. Go to scoresandodds.com/Discord, and boom, sign up. You're in. I'm joined. I just threw that in chat. I'm joined by, some would say, the great Dean Chafelson, but most of those people are a little bit past their prime in terms of their cognitive abilities. Some would say my friend. How you doing there, Daniel Chevelson?
I'm doing all right. I would just say that if you're considering betting Cease, that game starts in like 8 or 9 minutes. So make a decision quickly. You like the under on Cease case?
I don't know. I thought about it. What do you think? I mean, 7.5 is a big number. Yeah, it's just a big number.
It's a pretty big number, and also Nicky Lopez is leading off, which, you know.
Okay, now I'm sold. So
it's not just Nicky Lopez, but it's Nicky Lopez, Whit Merrifield, Benintendi. There are some strikeouts in this lineup, but like Taylor's batting 9th. He probably doesn't get to Taylor a third time. Dozier, batting 6th at 27%. Sal Perez, plenty of power, but also strikes out too. But, the first 3 guys are 3 really contact-heavy players. Lopez, Merrifield, Benintendi, striking out less than 18%. Lopez will draw a walk as well, too. Yeah, Cease does a really, really good K rate, 32% since 2021. But, Lopez has been 9th sometimes, and he's just, he's not somebody you fear, obviously, but he's just a pest when you're looking for strikeouts. He's just going to ground out and pop up and work the count and things like that. So, little things. And you said the projection has them under, actually, as far as Cease?
Yeah, I think the bat, I wonder what the bat that shout out to the Cardi and the bat. Even though I hate that guy sometimes, I like that guy sometimes.
Why do you hate Cardi?
I love to hate him. It's the same thing with you. I love to hate you.
Why is there no love in your heart, Grant?
I mean, love goes along with hate. Yeah, I just bet the under that. Yeah, so I've gotten absolutely slaughtered with props, baseball props this year, because the ball is obviously not flying, and a lot of what I bet is over on total bases. Over the ball's not consistent. Bassett did a massive rant about it.
I saw it. Yeah.
So all these numbers that going off of last year numbers, not fully able to correct. I am crushing the world in basketball, like absolutely just destroying it. So I'm not really losing much money this month, but baseball, and I'm doing very well when it comes to spreads.
It's not a dead basketball. The basketball is what it should be, right?
Yeah. Basketball is consistent. Baseball is not consistent. I have awful numbers. I'm down 7K this month in baseball. Like, so if I did in props, if I just didn't bet props and waited this month, I'd be up $5,000.
Are you concerned or you're not concerned? You care about the big picture stuff, right? Like, it's not good, obviously. You prefer it to be ahead.
Well, I'm starting to realize now, like, I should be betting more unders. So a lot of overs, unless it's like really standing off the page, which we'll get to a few of those. I'm not really messing around with. Like, the numbers are starting to adjust. I'm starting to get more of a feel for it. But yeah, no, it's just like I've still got basketball going on, so I still got bets. I got a lot of bets today, or a few bets today. But yeah, no, it's not what it should be. Like, baseball is not in the shortened spring training messed with things. The baseball, the bad weather, but the weather, we know what's going on. Like, weather doesn't change things.
By the way, it's 39 in that White Sox game, 39 degrees with a 13-mile-per-hour crosswind going across the field. That's
I think we got Kevin Roth wrote up the under on that game. Wonder what the under is sitting at. I'm gonna look at that since we got.
If you're to trust Weather Edge on a 24-game sample, and I want a bigger sample than that, but it is suggesting home runs are suppressed at 16% and runs are suppressed at about 4%. And it's Yeah, just throwing that out there, but it shouldn't. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not a meteorologist, but
Yeah, no, I mean, well, it's shown by the 7. Some places has that a 6.5 total, which is what you'd expect if like Scherzer and Kershaw were facing each other in San Francisco, like something like that.
Yeah.
That's where you see a 6.5 total. So I mean, they've adjusted enough for it. So I'm off of it.
When was the last time Zach Greinke's been in a game with a 6.5 total?
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, he used to be like a legit, right? Now he's
well. Let's get to my first bet real quick before that game starts. KC -1 run plus 250. I mean, anytime you have this bad of a weather game, like I'm getting it plus 250. I'm taking that every time. I know that Cease is better than Greinke by a wide margin. Greinke 3.2% K rate so far this year. He's been awful. But getting them at -1 at plus 250, I think that's just a solid overall line. I mean, KC just beat him last night. I actually had the run line of that one of -1.5, and I think they won 6-0.
Look at that White Sox lineup, man. It's rough because there's no.
Yeah, Sheets batting third.
Well, Andrew Vaughn. I think those are like softball players, right? They're big boppers, and Vaughn and Sheets, and those are probably guys that you want against Greinke because he's probably not going to strike you out, and those guys, they can strike out a good bit when they get a hold of it. Actually, can go pretty far. But Jake Berger, Reese McGuire. I guess we're running out 2 catchers. I imagine Grandal's probably DHing because Reese McGuire is playing too. And Adam Engel, Danny Mendick. This is a
great name. Great name.
Adam, you're talking about Adam Engel, of course.
No, I'm a big fan of Mendick.
You almost said that.
Huh?
Go.
I intentionally tried to say it. I'm a big fan of Mendick. Love Mendick.
Sure, he's spunky.
Yeah, but I also bet the under on Gavin Sheets hits, even though he's batting in the 3-hole. I got it plus 145. That weather is just not great for hitting.
How many hits?
Under 0.5.
So not getting a hit, basically.
Yes, at plus 145.
I wonder if he would come out if a lefty comes in.
That's also kind of my thought.
Because I don't. So the thing is, it's happened before, but their bench is really thin because they're without Robert, they're without Eloy Jimenez. I think they're without Robert, right? Yeah, they're still without Robert. Jimenez is going to be out for like 2 months or so. No Moncada, obviously. That White Sox lineup is pretty rough. This is not what they envisioned going into this season.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom 5 is just hot garbage. The top 5 is right about league average, probably.
Gavin Sheets, though, is not a league average 3-hitter, I don't think.
No, he's not. But
Vaughn, look, there's upside, sure, but like those are not like you don't.
Vaughn and Sheets aren't good. Grandal, Abreu, and Anderson are well above average. But I guess they're probably a normal 1, 2, 3 bat, and like they're just slightly above average for 1, 2, 3, and then the rest is hot garbage.
I'm trying to see who would come in for Sheets. Who would be available on their bench?
Garcia.
Pollock would be the guy, right?
Yeah.
If a lefty comes in, maybe Pollock is. I don't know. Yeah, that might make sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just sort of thinking about it out loud. Possibility.
Yeah, most likely Pollock. But yeah, those are my 2 bets in that game. Let's go over some base or basketball bets since we got those 2 out of the way. Bobby Portis over 1.5 turnover. I got a lot of plus 170 bets. I wrote up all these on Scores and Odds. But Bobby Portis over 1.5 turnovers. He's had 3, 1, 1, and 0, but he hasn't played a ton of minutes. The one game where he played over 30 minutes, he had 3 turnovers. He's projected for 28 minutes in this spot. They probably need him a bit in here. They're trying to close out the series with no Middleton. They should play him a decent amount of minutes. They did in the last game. If this game stays close, he should be in for 30 plus. Not expecting this game to stay close, so why we have him projected for 28.
Do you happen to have not to cut you off, I apologize, but do you happen to have like a alt lines? We're seeing Levine is questionable, Caruso is questionable. They both seem kind of highly questionable as well. I guess Levine was in protocols, and they're both in protocols. No, they're both officially out, right? Levine and Caruso.
Yeah.
I think Milwaukee just waxes them. Like, do we have like Milwaukee like alt lines like -20? This just feels like an annihilation.
Yeah. Milwaukee -19.5 is plus 215. -24.5 is plus 390.
Yeah, I think those would be kind of fun. You can kind of ladder it too, I'm sure. Like as the game I don't know if those are out just yet. They tend to like release those the closer you get to the game.
No, they have alt spreads all the time.
Yeah. But I'm saying, don't they have like, minus 20.5, minus 21.5, minus 22.5?
Yeah, they have that. Like I have everything from.
Oh, you just picked a couple. I gotcha.
Yeah, because you said, but yeah, I mean, the line's sitting at 12.5, but I don't know. I mean, DeRozan can still do some work, and Dosunmu
20-foot jump shots are not. I mean, he's been awesome, but like
yeah,
inefficient. And you beat Milwaukee with the 3, and I don't know. It feels like a scenario where Milwaukee just punches them right in the face and just it's over.
Yeah, it would not surprise me.
And Golden State too, by the way. I think both these games blow out tonight.
I think Denver wins tonight.
What?
Yep.
Okay, interesting. You're getting 3-1. Are you betting it, or are you just speculating?
What's this? I'm not betting it. I'm speculating based on what you said.
I'm seeing, at least according to RG, Denver is about a 9-point dog here.
8.5.
Okay, and plus 3.
Make that our movie bet.
Sure, but I'm already behind him. I'm going to watch. I promise I'm going to watch, and I feel like a big jerk. And I know you've been watching the ones that I've been sending your way, but I'm still behind. But I'm going to watch them. And we had Better Call Saul to watch. We got Winning Time to watch. There's so much good television out there right now, Grant.
I'm gonna send you something on Twitter that you will find funny.
Oh, you watched Air Bud, by the way, on your own. It wasn't even. Oh no, that was a loss, right? Yeah. We did make a wager
on a hockey bet that.
Yeah, which I knew nothing. I didn't realize we bet it, to be honest.
Yeah, I just sent you something that you'll laugh about on Twitter. But yeah, next bet, Ao Dosunmu over 1.5 blocks plus steals. You laugh at it?
Yeah.
Yeah, silly. Dosunmu over 1.5 blocks plus steals, getting at plus 170. This guy averages 1.2 per 26 minutes throughout the course of the season. I think I have to sneezed. Averages 1.2 per 28 minutes over the course of the season. So 36 minutes, that's right at 1.5. We have him projected at 1.5 blocks plus steals. He's going to play 36 plus minutes because no Caruso. He's going to be in there pretty much the whole time. Getting at plus 170 odds is just highway robbery.
Big number.
Yeah, I don't understand it at all. Like,
what do we have projected as far as his minutes? I know you threw out
36.
Yeah, 36 is a good number. And there's really not a lot of other options. Javonte Green, Troy Brown, Derek Jones, kind of a 3-and-D guy without much of a 3. Well, just an athletic player. Yeah. I'm
running Court IQ here to get the exact numbers.
The Bulls are really thin, man. Like they're one of those teams that they just do not have anything to work with on that bench.
Yeah, so per 36, which is his projection minutes, 1.52 blocks plus steals over the course of the season. So 170 is just.
And what's the number you got to get? Over 1.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying it's basically, well, not necessarily coin toss, but you're getting such good odds. Plus 170. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And then Monte Morris under 0.5 blocks plus steals. I don't
have a take on that. So
I didn't think you would. I got it plus 170. So I think, did my voice sound weird?
No, you sound fine to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I have this deep voice that sometimes.
Wait, is Barry White in the room all of a sudden? What just happened?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Morris, like you look at his last 6 games, only had a block or a steal in 4 of those. Getting plus 175 odds. I'll take it. Klay Thompson over 1.5 blocks plus steals, plus 170. He's had it in 2 of the 4 games this series. I think he hits it tonight. I'm just getting these massive odds that are just off on stuff close to a coin flip. So yeah, that and then James Harden tomorrow night. I think it's tomorrow night. Over 2.5 3-pointers made. I know he hasn't hit this series, but getting it plus 140, I just couldn't pass those odds up.
What's the deal with that? Yeah, and that's a good number historically, but it's just so odd that he's, Joel Embiid's got the thumb. But we talked about that. I don't think he made any threes that game. I remember we talked about it. I don't know if you bet it or not last game.
I didn't.
Just betting Embiid unders. We were talking about betting Embiid unders and betting him under for 3. I'm pretty sure he didn't make any threes. Took a couple. But Harden is just like not stepping up either. It's It's rough times there in Philadelphia. I mean, it's weird. I think they're up 3-2, and it feels like they're not, but they are, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what's going on in the series? I'm pretty sure they're up 3-2.
Yeah, which they were up 3-0, and Doc Rivers has historically he can blow a 3-0 lead pretty easy.
The Raptors are just rope and doping them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I actually did the math on what futures I have outstanding. Not nearly as much as I thought. I can actually just bring
as
it
far
up.
as champion.
Yeah.
And you got a bunch of Memphis, right?
Yeah. So.
In Boston.
Yeah, I can actually bring this up on the screen. Yeah, so the biggest one by far is Memphis to win the championship at 26K. These are all free bets. This is why I've been using my free bets, which is one of the best use of free bets is futures. Yeah, I have 16K if Golden State wins, 12K if Boston, 5K if Phoenix wins, 12K if Utah wins, 5 if Miami, 3 if Philly, 17 if Dallas wins, 2.5 if Milwaukee wins. I basically took off everyone else that's not going to make it. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. It'll make it things like no matter who wins, I win money. But yeah, it's going to be fun just watching the playoffs be like, all right, Golden State versus Memphis. Happy with either of those. Like the next round, I'll be rooting on Dallas going up against Phoenix. Hopefully Dallas. Either Dallas or Utah. I'll root for either of them. Milwaukee, Philly, I'm hoping lose in the next round because I just have more money. So it's going to be fun. Like I realize it's a great way to do things. It's just throughout the season, any free bets you get on whatever site, because I have like someone, Caesars, Bet Rivers, MGM, like I signed up for MGM in Arizona, did a $1,000 risk-free bet, happened to lose it. So just threw my free bets on whatever the best odds were. So like great thing to do is, let's see, I'll do it for baseball futures. If you have free bets just all the way throughout the season, just throw it on whoever has the best odds. So like if you have
bets like MVP stuff or Cy Young stuff, or you'd stick to
I did that too. Like it all because I have a bunch of free bets on Jokic to win the MVP, which I didn't hedge out of that at all. Like, and I had a bunch of free bets on Garland to win Most Improved Player and Bane to win Most Improved Player, which even Ja Morant thinks Bane should have won it. But yeah,
well, it's just a dumb. How people quantify or qualify what most improved even means is stupid. But yeah, I don't know. I think everybody interprets that differently.
Yeah, but so for instance here, free bets on different places. If you have it on PointsBet, you can just see on this RG page. It's literally go up to the MLB, go to futures, and you just bet on whatever the best lines are. So Yankees are plus 100 more on PointsBet than anywhere else. That's a great bet there, just based on how the markets go. What are the
Yankees? Because I feel like, can't you like bet the Yankees basically at the start of the playoffs at essentially the same odds they are right now, and there's only like downside? Or what are they at?
Plus 1,200.
Okay, so they won't be. I mean, theoretically, if they're well positioned for the playoffs and they're probably not going to be plus.
The problem is their division. So like, Blue Jays are plus 800, Yankees are plus 1,200, Red Sox are plus 2,800. Tampa Bay, I'm sure, is plus 1,600.
Good division.
Yeah, so that's the problem. Like I'd mostly stay away from those and just bet them once the playoffs begin, because I mean, realistically, what is there? 10 teams that go to the playoffs, or 8 technically?
I'm trying to figure it. Baseball, I think it's
it's 8 with the play-in game being, if you count as playoffs, it's 10.
I feel like we should know that, but
yeah. So I kind of lay off these, but like the Brewers, they're probably going to make it plus 1,500 if you have a free bet over on Caesars or DK. Giants are pretty much plus 2,000 everywhere. Phillies, if you have a free bet on DK, go with the Phillies plus 3,000. Angels plus 3,500 if you have it over it. FanDuel, Mariners plus 3,500. Yeah.
I'm taking a look. I haven't looked at this in a while as far as MVP or Cy Young. I'm curious if they have anything interesting there.
Let's see. AL Cy Young. Bieber's the favorite of the AL Cy Young, followed by Verlander. I mean,
I would not bet either one of those right now. Like that, the general thought, like this early in the season, why would you bet the favorite? And Bieber, he's got both those guys have arm injury issues historically.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best bet, in my opinion, is probably Gaussman at plus 2,000. Maybe
I
Robbie
like
Ray
that.
at plus 3,500. If you have a free bet over on FanDuel, I'm probably going to end up betting these a decent amount. Severino, they're going to be too careful for him. He won't get it. Evaldi
How can
plus,
I find this? Where are you at? Under props or trends? Oh, futures, right?
yeah,
Okay.
MLB Futures. Yeah, let's look at the NL Cy Young. Um, I mean, sure, Burns, I think, Rodon at plus 700 at Caesars, I don't hate. Bueller at plus 1,500 at MGM, I like that
I
one.
don't mind that. And like his team is most likely to be winning, which matters to voters. Like he's
Yeah.
not going to have a popping like K number either. They did let him close a game out the other day. You know, you pitch the old TGSO, went through over 100 pitches, so that was interesting.
Kershaw, plus 1,600 at PointsBet. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a no. I don't know if they'll give him enough. Like that's the kind of the tricky part there. Am I wrong to say the National League pitchers are better than the American League pitchers? I'm jumping back to the American League side.
Well, also look at Nola, 40-1.
Yeah, that's a pretty big number.
Yeah.
I like Gaussman, like you said, 20-1. It seems like an outlier.
Yeah, that's kind of my favorite bet. And, well, yeah, it is a bit of an outlier. We look at it, and Gaussman's at 12-1, 10-1, 10-1, 16-1. So if you have some MGM free bets, I'd throw those on Gaussman.
Nestor Cortez 50-1. That's the power of the stash.
Yeah, but we should probably go back to actual bets here.
Well, this is actionable, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Bogart's over 1.5 total bases. Again, this one just screamed bet at plus 120. He's going up against Stripling, who's extreme reverse splits since the beginning of last season. 345 WOBA, 243 ISO on the road team. So know you get that night thing at bat. Bogart's batting in the 3-hole, so decent chance at 5 at bats. Stripling does not walk righties. He gets a lot of contact and a lot of hard contact and a lot of fly balls. Like over 1.5 total bases at plus 120. Great bet to me.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Aaron says 12 are in the playoffs this year for baseball.
So there's 3 division winners and 3 wild card on each side. Is that right? I don't think that's true. I thought isn't like 3 and then 2, and then they get it. You know, they go from 10. Yeah, the 3 division winners, and then 2 wild cards play against each other, and that gets like the 8 teams. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked into it. I don't know what the CBA did.
I feel
2
like
teams get a bye. All right.
Oh, okay.
So that makes sense why the Dodgers would be such massive favorites because they're winning that division.
The Giants are still good, man. they are still good. I know people think last year was kind of fluky, but you know they're really smart with their platoon stuff.
They are good, but the Dodgers also have the best hitting lineup I've ever seen.
No, I guess I don't.
And probably the best pitching staff I've ever seen, especially if Bauer ends up coming back.
It seems unlikely from what I'm. Yeah, that seems like that's not going to happen. It doesn't look like this. I wouldn't bank on that happening. But they don't.
Yeah, I'm not, but I would not be surprised. But yeah, so Bogart's over 1.5 total bases. You think that's solid?
Sure, fine with it.
All right, Ashby over 4.5 strikeouts. I mean, this guy has pretty good K stuff. Worried about the leash. He did get he did have 78 pitches in 2 matchups ago or 2 outings ago. Got the yank early in this last one because he was getting crushed. But this Pittsburgh lineup is awful.
So yeah, you're going to throw it up on the screen. I assume the plate IQ.
It's up there.
Yeah, and it's you don't have to be very smart to figure out that like red is bad and green is good, and that all those reds, with the exception of Hayes. I don't know what a Swinsky is that's batting on the 9 hole.
Schwinsky.
Swing. Jack Sawinski. He's got no I'm curious now. I'm going to pull up the see what he was in the minors or what he's projected and like zips and things like that because I think this is like his major league debut. If he's played
he's had 1 at bat before.
Okay, against the righty, I presume, or maybe it was against the lefty. Who knows? But
yeah, I'm looking up his numbers too. Well, I mean, again, we don't know if he's actually going to be in the lineup, and if they throw in a lefty,
right. Yeah, it's not official. Why is that lineup not out? Then the game start like in an hour. Oh no, 6:35. My bad.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Schwinsky,
Go ahead.
decent K bat, and he went straight from Double A, and he had a 28% and 24% K rate. So we can assume that he's going to be a high K batter. So this is like Ashby, 27% K rate guy since beginning of last season, going up against a team with realistically probably a 30% K rate on average, which is incredible, like incredibly high. You just don't see that. Plus, no one walks outside of Perez.
Well, that's important because Ashby can be very wild. By the way, Zips projects this Swinski character, 2022 striking out at a 28.5% clip in the majors, 29% in 2023. Yeah, so he projects to be a guy that strikes out a ton in the majors. So you want him in there.
Yeah.
You're probably only facing him twice with Ashby because I don't know how many. You're not getting him a third time. Ashby's not going to stick around that long, but that can be the difference. That kind of stuff matters, obviously.
Yeah, I think Ashby's line might actually be moving for some reason. So you might be able to get better odds. Ashby, you can get it plus 130 right now.
What does Cardi have projected for him for his number of pitches? Because like you said, the leash is the big issue.
Yeah, let's see.
Probably somewhere in the mid-70s.
75.
Okay, well, there you go. That will be the mid-70s. But that might be enough. What's the number you said, 4.5?
Yeah.
I like it. All
right. Mariners minus 1.5 runs. I got that line at plus 225. The Mariners going up against your Tampa Bay Devil Rays, or Rays. They wanted to get rid of the devil part of it. Rasmussen, and then who is it behind Rasmussen? They said,
they got a long man going today. I've not looked at that game.
I don't know. It might just be Rasmussen. I can't remember off the top of my head. I had to go get my passport earlier.
Oh.
Real pain. Yeah, it's just Rasmussen, and he struggles a bit with command, if I remember correctly. Oh, not that bad. He struggles against one side. Yeah, he struggles against righties. Some decent righties here, some decent lefties. Still a little bit raw. Marco Gonzalez has been great his last few outings. I'm going to look it up real quick.
Who's missing from that Tampa lineup? It looks different. Choi? Is that who it is? The lefty on left? Harold Ramirez is batting third. I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, there's Zunino got hurt as well. I think he's got biceps. So Rene Pinto is not playing. Is playing.
He hits the ball a mile. I assume he has some biceps.
Yeah. Well, his biceps are hurting a little bit. Is the problem?
Yeah.
That's what's going on with this lineup. And they moved down Brandon Lau against the lefty as well. Rosarena batting leadoff against Gonzalez.
Yeah, and then my last bet starts here sometime soon. Gallon under 5.5 strikeouts, got it at plus 115 over at Caesars. Gallon, he's good. He strikes out righties a lot more than lefties. Dodgers, I don't know if you know this, have a lot of good lefties in the lineup.
Yeah, they are without a couple of their standard. Like, Barnes is in there on the day game after the night game, so no Will Smith. And also Rios, who's a lefty who cracked the lineup. I believe Turner, not Trey, but Justin Turner, not in the lineup there for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
It's a great lineup, obviously, but a little bit weaker than it is standard. I believe is open in Arizona for what it's worth.
Yeah, which isn't going to help him. Like Gallon, he also gets real wild, which looking at the walk rates of the Dodgers, highest in the league, I believe, at 11.1% in the projected lineup. Everyone walks. Like the lowest walk rate is Trey Turner at 6.1%. He doesn't strike out much. So they'll be working the count. He'll get his pitches up real quick. Under 5.5 plus 115 just seems bad. I think you can still get it at 6.5 some places.
This season, the Dodgers are the second most patient team, small sample. Number one is your Seattle Mariners at 11.7%.
Yeah. Go Mariners. Please just make the playoffs once.
You had some fun there with Griffey and A-Rod.
I started watching – the year I started watching was the first year they didn't make the playoffs, and they have not made it since.
Is that 2006 or something? When did they –
2001.
They didn't make the playoffs? Okay. And
they were supposed to in 2001. They still had Edgar. They still had Jay Buhner. Brett Boone was great. They had Ichiro. They had some decent bats.
They used to have nights where, like Jay Buhner nights where maybe it was like people didn't shave their head as much, I guess. But if you shave your head, you can get in for free. was like a debut night. Now, like, people just shave their head just to shave their head, right? I don't know. It's easy. Yeah, that was one of the ways to get into the other ballpark on JB night. You just shave your head up. There you go.
Yeah. No. I mean, I miss watching the Mariners. I'm gonna have to watch them whenever they come down here to play the Rockies.
Is that once?
I mean, I'm sure they do.
Yes, they probably do once.
Yeah, I know they did last year. I assume they will again this year. Let's see. Do they? No. Well, that's just through July.
I don't know if you visit every team. Obviously your division, you play your division opponents, 19 times or 21 times, something like that. It's a big number. And they're also different leagues, one American, one national. So it's not. I don't know. I'm not certain that it's like a guarantee they're going to be visiting.
Who year. Should I go see? Atlanta would probably be a good
Ohtani.
Series.
Try to see Ohtani if that's possible. If he's making an appearance.
I mean, it won't be for. I'm looking at I have Miami, not great. San Francisco, New York wouldn't be bad, but I'll be out of town then. Atlanta, Miami, Cleveland, San Diego would be fun.
Will Tatis be back by then? When is it?
It is June 17th, so we'll probably be back.
He's supposedly ahead of schedule. He came back really early last time too, ahead of schedule. Hey, I have a bet I kind of like today.
Go on.
Speaking of the Marlins, Jazz Chisholm. I got Jazz to swipe a bag today, facing Fetty. I assume he's gonna be leading off on the road. Got probably 5 ABs, assuming things go fairly well. Fetty is really vulnerable to stolen bases. He gave up 2 so far this year. I think it was 14 last year. Jazz. I was watching the game yesterday on 2 separate occasions. He wasn't on often. I think he was on just once, but both times, or not both times, the same at bat. He tried to steal a bag. And, the guy at the plate, the gall, the audacity, swinging and hitting the ball. What are you doing? Let Jazz do his thing. What is that anything more tilting than like watching the guy? And also when it's like a ball and like popping it up, it's like, just let the dude steal a base. So point is, Jazz is hunting stolen bases. He's going to get one tonight versus Fetty. And I was looking at the odds. I think
top overall projected stolen base percentage by the bat. So, you know what?
0.3 is what I last saw, right? Is that what it was?
Yep.
Like 30% chance?
Yep. I'm going to throw some money on it. You want in?
Yeah. Did I sell you? Did I sell you on Jazz?
Yeah. It's at 340.
Oh man, I love it. That's good. He's gonna knock it out first at bat, unless it's a homer. Like he can do that also.
What do you want on it?
Oh, I mean, we can we can discuss the usual. How about that?
Can't remember the usual.
Whatever,
just slide into my DMs right now.
There you go. This is it's gonna happen. I feel pretty good about it. Like, obviously, it's not supposed to happen, right? It's more likely than not to happen. But I think the odds are too good. The matchup's pretty good, and Jazz is hunting those stolen bases.
Yeah, I just put 150 on it. 5 stolen bases. Yeah, you got me convinced.
Yeah,
doesn't happen too often.
Every once in a while, man. Don't slide into the DMs and get angry at me if I get it wrong. But I think it's pretty good.
A lot of times you do. But
I was counting the Mlb money before it even happened. Oh my gosh, I didn't want to think about that.
Yeah, I mean, if Jokic for some reason doesn't win the MVP, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, and if he does, people are going to be very angry. Also, like, oh, this guy got knocked out in the first round.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, he's going to win the MVP. Like, they already pulled all the people that are voting. Like, unless a ton, and I mean a ton of people lied. Like, he's got the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, and they also said the same thing about Mlb. It was closer, but the odds were, they said, well, most likely, and it was really like a couple of votes is all it was, the Mlb thing, and we talked about this one off air. Like,
there's variance. Like,
yeah,
like if you're shooting half court shots and you make 3 of 10, it's like, okay, well, we can kind of expect maybe 25%, 20%. But if you're going off of like a 50 sample size and you make 1, it's like, well, you're probably under 10%.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get over 10%.
What
But
did you have on the Cease? Did you bet Cease today?
Yeah, I bet under 7.5 strikeouts minus 135.
Well, I got bad news for you.
Struck out the side.
He's got 3 through the first 2. Only 26 pitches, also pretty efficient.
That's honestly not terrible considering I got 7.5.
Yeah.
Like it's not great news, but it's not
Yeah,
terrible.
it's not horrific, I guess. Just the one. If it was 2, you're fine, right? If it's 3, it's like, oh no. Yeah. If it's 6, then you go to bed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more happy that Gavin Sheets doesn't have a hit yet. That's a bigger payout.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a much bigger payout.
Didn't strike out for what it's worth. Only 1 strikeout for Greinke through 1.
Well, that's way above his season average.
This is true. What is the season average right now? Like 15%?
3?
Wait, is K rate this season is 3%?
It's bad.
It can't be 3.
3.2.
No, is that for real?
Yeah.
What is a swinging strike rate? So I mostly focus on
3.9%.
This early in the season. I drag it back to 2021. That is, this is small sample stuff. Now I'm curious. Okay, I'm gonna pull up his
K per 9 right now is 1.13. He has 2 Ks on the season. Now he has 3.
What's a swinging strike rate?
3.9%.
Okay.
One of the lowest I've ever seen in my life.
Strikeouts, but still, yeah.
You've been unlucky? I don't think he's been that unlucky.
Well, you said the strikeout percentage is lower than the swinging strike rate, correct?
Yes, but that also, a lot of times that there's a drastic variation. So, it goes up and down pretty drastically, with the mean being 20% swings or 9% swing strike rate, 20% K rate, I believe. It's a curve.
2x, in my head, it's a little, swinging strike rate is the K rate generally is a little bit more than 2x swinging strikes.
So, for instance, who's the highest strikeout rate guy on the?
Well, Ohtani's got 44% so far this season.
I'm talking about bigger sample size than this season. So Cease, I guess yours holds up 14.9% swing strike rate, 31%. So it holds up on that one, but let's look.
Ohtani last 13.3% swinging strikes, 30.7% Ks. Joe Ryan, 12.8% swinging strikes, 28.8% Ks. It's a little bit more than 2x. It's like a general,
Yeah, I just thought it it was more of a bell curve.
There may be, I don't know. But again, if you just, most guys, when you sort of eyeball it, Eric Fetty, 8.9% swinging strikes, 21.8% Ks. There's probably a better way of doing that, but that's my general rule of if they're getting unlucky or lucky. And we talk about Cardi. Cardi will say swinging strikes are overrated. So, but he says a lot of things are overrated.
Yeah,
yeah, and I'm not saying he's wrong. He's done more research on it than I have for sure.
I just got notification in my ear. I have no idea where it came from. Yeah, I don't know. Greinke might be getting unlucky, but it's still bad. Still the lowest swinging strike rate I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. In no way am I saying, for sure. I just think if you're getting 3% swinging strikes, you should be striking out 7% of guys, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it should be much higher. And we're dealing with incredibly small samples. And I didn't realize, I always build my chart every single day, but I did not add Greinke because he's not on today's main slate. But maybe when I'm coming to the show, I should probably throw those guys in there just for funsies as well. Just kind of delete them later. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
What's his velocity? You have that up there too?
I can look at it.
It's all bad, junk, right?
Yeah.
Meg struck out, by the way. Greinke has 2 Ks now.
Wow. It's 88 right now. Is his max? Is his velocity almost 89? 80, almost 90 on his sinker. That's not terrible.
Yeah, I was more than I expected, to be honest.
That was last year. Let's see. This year it's roughly the same. Interesting. Well, I think that's pretty much it for the show. You got anything else to add?
I just saw a tweet that says Kyrie Irving can ask for 5 years, $248 million. Do you think he gets that?
I think he could. He could. All depends. It all depends on if he wants to go to a small market. Big markets, maybe the Knicks might. The Knicks honestly would probably give that.
Would you want to sign that if that's like your team? Do you want your team getting, because Kyrie, obviously he's really good offensively, can create his own shot, yada yada, but he's already 30. And defensively, we know he's kind of inferior defensively. So I don't know. I don't know if I want that. It's not terrible, but I guess if I'm the Magic, maybe I sign up for. Not that he's going to make a difference.
Detroit would probably in a second sign him,
but they have Cunningham.
Cunningham plays.
I guess they can play alongside each other.
Yeah. Trying to think of another.
He said he wants to play in Brooklyn. He said he wants to stick around with Durant. He wants to build the thing with the. I think he mentioned the GM as well. I think it's Sean Marks, I want to say. But I don't know. I'm not sure. Generally speaking, like the studs, like a top 10 guy, like LeBron was one of the most underpaid players in the league for years with the cap, right? Like if I can get the number one stud, Jokic, every team in the league would pay Jokic whatever he's getting paid for Denver. Everybody would max him out.
Even deal. I think even the 76ers would be like, all right, you and Embiid play together. We'll make this work.
Oh yeah, of course. You figure it out. Yeah. It's the weird thing with basketball where like the best players that are getting paid the most are probably the most underpaid.
Yeah.
And then you can have guys like
Tobias Harris.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's fine, but he shouldn't be a max player, obviously.
Yeah, he shouldn't be paid the same as Embiid. I think the Wizards would take him pretty easily. Knicks, Pistons.
But Kyrie's not going to Detroit though. Like that's not happening.
No. Yeah. The Lakers would do a signing trade for Westbrook.
Who is trading for Westbrook? Westbrook opted in. I assume he's going to opt in. He's like $50 million coming to him next year or something like that.
The Pelicans would sign him.
Man, it's the whole Zion thing is just wild. Like what is going on? Is he just like he's hurt and that's that? Like he can dunk at least. We've seen some clips of that, but it's so weird.
Who knows?
I don't. And so allegedly, like he wasn't happy there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's the show. We'll be back again tomorrow, guys. We're out of here. See you, kids.
Jay.